As the Sir Durward Knowles Junior National Sailing Regatta sets sail for another year on February 20th through 22nd, the event continues to provide young sailors with a platform to showcase their skills and foster a passion for the sport. Today, we gain insight into the careful planning, community impact, and future vision for this prestigious competition, which has become a cornerstone in the development of junior sailing talent. In studio, we have Lowe, the president of the Bahamas Sailing Association. Welcome back to What's Trending, Laurie.
It's a pleasure to be here.
And it's great to see you again. So we're just going to jump right in. What were some of the biggest challenges you faced when planning this competition? I know that we're going to get underway on Thursday.
So there's a lot that goes into planning. There's a lot of logistics involved. Because we have 5 classes or 5 fleets racing, we have to figure out how to get them all out there in the limited time available with the limited resources that we have. So, for example, there's a lot of children that want to be a part of this great event, and the government is really helping to make that happen. Our issues are not having enough equipment to make sure that everybody gets to sail. We do actually have enough equipment, but we've had to change the format slightly to make sure that that can happen.
And how excited for you to get things underway on Thursday?
Well, I'm very excited to see Thursday come and see all the kids out there having a great time on the water.
And obviously, talk to us about the selection process for the location that you're having the event at.
So I think probably the reason this event is happening in Nassau is because it's the center of the country. We have the most equipment here. No other team that's out there has the extent of equipment that we have, or the resources in personnel who can run the event. So if we had the event at another location, and we have had it in Grand Bahama previously, and I think before that, when it was simply E-Class, it was in Exuma. But if we have it in another island, then equipment has to be shipped probably from Nassau.
So I guess logistically it makes a little bit more sense. So is this a part of the logistics that goes into the planning for this event every year?
Yes, I think so. I mean, we at the Bahamas National Sailing School and the Bahamas Sailing Association are really only involved in organizing the racing and providing the boats for the international classes. The regatta desk handles all the transport, the housing, and everything else. And that in itself is a logistic nightmare. Very few islands connect to each other, save through Nassau. Very few mail boats connect to other islands, save through Nassau. So having the event in Nassau makes sense. Having the event somewhere else would be a fantastic thing, but logistically quite difficult.
And obviously you talked about the level of interest in the event earlier on. How do you select the competitors in this event? Are they selected? Do they apply? How does that whole process work in terms of who we are going to be seeing sailing?
So I can't speak to the numbers because that would be within the purview of the regatta desk. We are only receiving submissions from the coaches of each island. So the coaches in each island or the teams from each island decide who among their teams are going to come and compete. Okay. And we just accept those applications.
So based on the applications that you have, are you able to speak to the ages that will be competing? I think you said it's 5 classes that will be represented in this regatta.
Yes, I think that, I can't say definitively, but I'm pretty sure the youngest may be 7 or 8 from Eleuthera, Colton Kemp. The oldest is probably going to be an 18-year-old.
So a lot of interest. Mm-hmm. And I talked about, obviously, people want to know the regatta seems to be something that is gaining traction among the youth. So how does regatta contribute to sailing throughout the country in terms of the youth, their growth and development?
When you say regatta, you mean this regatta in particular?
This regatta in particular.
Yeah, I think this regatta in particular, you know, traveling, I'm a sailor, I sail internationally. The reason I sail is so I can travel and meet new people and meet people that are sailing, that love sailing like I do. So what this regatta provides for kids is an opportunity to travel inside the Bahamas, to learn about fellow Bahamians from other islands and see that we're all the same. We all love this sport. So this regatta is really great for bringing together kids from all over the islands to sail against each other and to see who's better.
Yeah, well, everybody wants that bragging rights, eh?
Absolutely.
So talk to us in terms of the rules. Sponsors and partnerships help in terms of hosting or bringing this event together to get it off the ground.
Yeah, so sponsorships are critical. Also volunteers. We have a lot of volunteers that help us make this event happen. Almost all of our race committee is a volunteer. A lot of the teams have parents who are coming to chaperone their kids. They're volunteering their time. The coaches are there. Generally speaking, the coaches are paid. But you also have people that would be out on the water helping teach the kids that are not paid. So the sponsors help us with the funding in travel expenses, in shipping of boats, in providing the equipment, in making sure the kids are having a good time. I mean, they're going to have a good time on the water, but the sponsors are critical and so are the volunteers. Wouldn't happen without either one.
And those are key areas. So what do you believe sets this event apart from other junior sailing competitions?
A couple of things. So the regattas that we have in the Bahamas, the sloop regattas, are pretty unique in the world. Generally speaking, you go to a regatta and it's just about the racing. The fact that we have this whole onshore thing going on with music and dancing and making it a cultural event is fairly unique, and I think it's fantastic. So that's what's different about this particular regatta in the world and in most of our youth regattas. Because most of our youth regattas were simply sailing. I mean, we might have a dinner or two for the kids and something for the people who are attending the regatta, but it's not something that's generally open to the general public. It's not something where we're showcasing. I mean, sometimes we would showcase a Junkanoo group at an opening ceremony for our youth events, particularly the Youth International ones. But generally speaking, the attendees and the people who show up at our events that are part of the regatta, but not the actual racing, generally speaking, it's the competitors and their family.
Okay, makes sense. So remind our viewers when the regatta is at the commence and where and what can they expect to see from these youth competitors.
All right, so we'll be on Montague Beach. If you go to Montague Beach Park, you'll be able to see all the racing from shore. You can also obviously watch it on ZNS, live streaming. Fantastic. We got some great commentating coming on. So on Thursday, they will start, the first fleets or groups of sailors will start racing at 11 on Thursday. And on Friday and Saturday from 10 o'clock, they'll be racing. So you'll probably see children on the water in their boats from 9:30. Racing will carry on throughout the day until about 4:30 every day. I think there's going to be a slight break between 2 and 3 o'clock in the afternoon every day. On the Montague Park, there'll be opening ceremonies, I think at 6 o'clock on Thursday, and closing ceremonies is Saturday also, I think at 6 o'clock. And there will be other things going on the Montague. We have some vendors. I think they've got 5 or 6 vendors there selling food. So come on down to the Montague. I mean, if you want to see you sailing, it's right there. We also have some boats on shore so kids can take a ride in a sailboat. We want to make sure they can swim before we do that, but we will have boats there for them to check out on the beach, to see how they work. So there'll be a lot going on.
Well, sounds like it's going to be a fun, family-oriented event as well. Well, thank you so much for coming on with Trending, Laurie. Always a pleasure to have you, and I'm sure the event will be a smashing success this week. I wish you all the best.
Thank you very much. A pleasure to be here.
Well, you're watching What's Trending. We will be back after the break.